Human beings and canines share a special bond. Assistance dogs are adding a new chapter to the story of our connection.
I've got treats. You know I have treats.
Bringing new possibilities and new hope to the lives of people facing the challenges of disability, injury, and disease.
It's amazing when you look at these little guys and you think that in just a little over a year, really, or a year and a half, they're going to be responsible for somebody's whole life. And certainly for their happiness and their ability to navigate society. It's an awesome weight, and yet it's amazing how well they bear it. It just absolutely stuns me.
No, you get out of my treat pocket. Get out of my treat pocket.
To make the most of our relationship, people need to understand one thing. Dogs want and need to make people happy.
Yes, excellent job. The methodology here really is positive reinforcement for requested tasks. That's basically it. I want him to want to work. I want him to love to work. When I start with the dog, I use a technique that we call targeting. I take a treat and I sort of posture the dog with the treat. I don't touch the dog. It's not like a physical posturing, but I use bait to put him in a position to create the desired result. So if I was looking for a sit, I would take the treat, put it over his nose. Yes, good sit. From that situation, I would take the treat to do a down, and I would just point to the ground. Yes, good job, very nice. And we get a sit and a down. Okay, so then later, as it becomes more advanced, I would just sort of gesture to the floor. Down, yes, very nice, and the treat is right there. Then it would be even less the next time. It would just be a command, a verbal command, which would be down. Yes, very nice job. Then later, there's no guarantee that Wagner's recipient may be nonverbal, may not be able to give the command down. So in that case, I teach Wagner this, which is just a look to the ground. Yes, what a nice down, good job. And then from there we say stay.
We call them minimal movement cues.
Stay.
Dogs can detect
Stay.
and respond to less than a tenth of a millimeter of movement.
Yeah, that's my boy, good job.
I mean, it's really quite easy to ask the dog to do something, provided you do it in a way the dog can understand. People automatically assume that dogs are going to understand them. They don't.
Come get me. Come on, Wagner. Wags.
Think about it from the dog's
Tuck it
perspective.
open.
You don't speak the language. You know, you're much like a foreign exchange student who comes from a culture that is entirely different from your own, where, poop is a marvelous thing. I mean, you're talking about where it's okay to drink out of the toilet bowl. You're talking about, trying to get two separate worlds together without having a catastrophe. And it's easily done through understanding.
Let's try one more time, and then we'll see if I can go outside. People are sort of boggled by it because it's sort of the old mindset of traditional obedience says you have to dominate the dog. But, I'm physically able, if I wanted to dominate the dog. A recipient is not going to be able to necessarily have the same dominance over the dog. So the whole philosophy doesn't make any sense when it comes to service dog training. If I have a recipient who's a quadriplegic, he's not going to be able to physically restrain the dog. He's going to have to rely on his voice and the proper motivation to get the dog to do the command. Switch. So our approach comes from the other way, which says the dog has to love the recipient, love the job, love the task, and then that will nullify all of those sort of behaviors, that resistance to working, because he's going to want to work. He's going to be like, I want to sit and I want to down and I want to pick up your phone because it brings me pleasure, it brings you comfort, and we're best friends. So that's what best friends do. Very nice job. That's great.
Dogs are very, very emotional creatures. And because of that, they're very sensitive. And I think that probably of all the things I've learned over the years, it is that the key is the relationship.
Come here, Harmony.
Dogs want to make their humans happy.
Harmony. No, silly. Harmony. Yes, good girl. Good girl. I don't have any treats, and you still did it for me, didn't you?